Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome back to The Voice Within. Let me ask you something. Why are you here? Why do you listen to this podcast? Why are you reading books? Why are you doing all personal development work, inner work, however you want to call it? Is it because you're trying to be a better person for others, better at service to others, or you're trying to improve yourself for yourself? My journey in personal development, and I mentioned this so many times, started because of motherhood. I had quite difficult childhood, and I knew that there is no way that I came out of that childhood untouched, unscarred. I knew there were most probably a lot of things inside of me that I was not even aware of completely, but I was sure that I want to uncover them, change them, so I could be better mother to my child. I wanted to be more patient, I want to be more stable, I wanted to be more safe, but the urge to start and to change something came because I wanted to be better at service to others. That was basically my doorway into personal development. But deeper I went as the years were passing, once I started creating my own concepts of personal development through understanding my own physique, human physique, and how am I functioning, observing the people around me, how they are functioning, where there are similarities, why do we behave the way we do, why do we doing the things we do. The more I was going into personal development, the clearer it became to me that real change, it's not possible to happen if we are focusing on others. To actually change something, we have to do it for ourselves. Whenever I was making any change within me, and when the purpose was to be better for others, I was completely cutting myself out of that process. Like, I am not worth of it doing that for myself. Let me become better person so I can be better mother, better wife, better daughter, better friend. But where am I in all of that? Where am I in that process? What if I decide to become better for myself? So I am in peace with myself. So I am honoring myself in the way maybe I never honored myself in my entire life. What if the work is me showing love to myself, loving myself in a way that maybe I always crave to be loved all of my life? As a woman, we have been trained to value ourselves by how good we are to others, how useful we are to others, how good mothers we are, how good wife we are, how good daughters we are, how our roles are making other people comfortable. Even when we set boundaries, in back of our head there is that story, that little voice asking, am I still good to them? If I do this, are they still comfortable with this? Will I hurt them in some way if I own what is acceptable or not acceptable for me? When we say no, we are still asking, am I still valuable to them? Will they see me like I am rejecting them if I say no? It feels like our whole identity is tied to the service of others. And when it's like that, even the simple thing like setting the boundaries, they will always feel like we betray people. When everything is at service other people, we will always mirror our truth through their eyes. If I do A, how does that affect B? We are not trained to change mindset and basically think, I do A because A is for me. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm not trying to do B and hurt somebody. I'm doing this and this for myself because this brings peace to me. And to be honest, it took me very long time to reach this place where the work I'm doing is the work for me, because I want to be better to myself, because I want to love myself better, because I am respecting myself. It took me a long time to understand that all the work I'm doing, it is important if we're talking about service to other people. But if it's only just for them, I am out of that calculation. There is no me. So the work I'm doing and the work I did is only for me. I want to be able to communicate better because I love myself so much that I want to learn how to communicate in a way that it's aligned with my soul, that gives me peace, that I don't have that trauma reflex to say the things which are not aligned with me and then regret it later. I learn how to set the boundaries so I can protect myself where is necessary and stop betraying myself for the comfort of other people. I stopped people pleasing because I don't want to be continuously at the service of other people while at the same time building resentment inside of myself. When I started observing personal development like act of love towards myself, it became really beautiful. And every single thing that I started changing and every single thing that I'm still noticing inside of myself and I'm changing and I'm working on it, it became at service of me. It became the wish to live my purpose, to become safe place for myself, and byproduct of that is being the safe place for other people. Because when we do this work for ourselves, when we love ourselves more, our capacity to love others will naturally expand. Because when you're doing, let's say, learning to set boundaries, and you learn to set them lovingly, why? For yourself. Because you don't want to ever again be in position where you are terrified to set the boundaries. You're learning to set boundaries with a calm and ease, so you don't have reaction inside of yourself, so you don't torture yourself inside when you set boundaries. Once you learn that for yourself and you set that boundary out of love for yourself, the people feel it and it feels different because now they respect the work you are doing. Now they respect your boundary because they see that you are respecting yourself by doing the work. And this was fundamental shift inside of me. Basically flipped everything upside down. The moment where I stopped improving myself for others and started improving myself for myself. When I stopped being here to be good for others, to perform goodness for others, and I started actually building dignity for myself so I feel good inside with myself. And from that place, every role I play, every role I hold, motherhood, wife, friendships, it became more clear, more strong, and more safe because I became more clear, more strong, and more safe within myself. Change is not sustainable when it's for others. Why? Because people will do something. We cannot control others. We cannot influence how they behave. If we are continuously improving ourselves to be better for them, we are constantly scanning for their behavior and then adjusting our behavior with them. But when we are focusing on ourselves to be better to ourselves, when we do it for the love we feel for ourselves, then it becomes unshakable, regardless of who is around us. Then we are good to ourselves. We love ourselves. We are doing the work which is aligned with who we and what we want to be. And the circumstances, the people around us cannot influence it. Because the thing is, when you are good with yourself, when you feel okay with yourself, you know how to act in any situation and you know how to face difficulties in relationship with other people. Their behavior cannot shake you anymore because you become clear with yourself. So the question then is, how do we change that mindset? How do we start doing personal development for ourselves instead of doing it to be at service to others? And honestly, I will tell you from my story, from my example. There was no mindset shift that flipped this in my head. There was nothing particular that happened that brought me to the place of understanding I want to be better to myself, not just better to others. It was just realization which came within a time and years of working on myself and realizing no matter how much I try to improve myself, people will still be people. I cannot influence them. I cannot change them. I don't have control over them. Only thing that I have control over is myself. Once I started doing the work from understanding, okay, if I cannot influence other people and I can control myself, then let me learn to control myself. The more I was learning about myself, the more I was learning to control my mind, to control my reactions, to understand my trauma reflex, my behavior, my impulses, my triggers, behaviors and changing them day by day, the more peace came in me. The more I was dealing with my own things inside, with my own shit, I stopped focusing on other people and I was focusing more on myself, because the first time I felt excitement when I set boundaries clear with love, and I didn't felt rejected and the people respected my boundary, and I felt that I step up for myself, that I protected myself, maybe for the first time in my life in mature way. I still remember that day. I felt that dopamine rush, that excitement of I can do this, I can be my person, I can be that thing for myself. I don't need anybody to be that thing for me. I can hold myself and guide myself and lead myself where is necessary. Out of that place, energy started spilling in another areas of my life. People started around me reflecting that change inside of me, and relationship became different. People started behaving differently in my presence, not because I forced them to change, not because I was demanding from them to do inner work. I was just doing my own thing, and I was just reflecting different way of being in my presence. And my different way of being kind of triggered the change in them. This is so beautiful when we talk about inner work. The more you change energy, and the way you behave, the people reflect that. They see you differently. When you respect yourself, people respect you more. When you take your words seriously, people take your words seriously more. When you take yourself, your emotions with the grace, with dignity, and you honor them and you don't brush them off like they are nothing, people respect those emotions more. They see your emotions like something which is valuable, that you really cherish, and you are careful where, how, and to whom you are showing them. There is no magical trick where I can tell you this is a mindset shift, this is the mantra which you need to keep repeating, this is something that you need to keep saying to yourself while you're looking yourself in the mirror, blah blah blah, all of these things. Do inner work the way you're doing it. If you started it out of need to be better to other people, keep doing it that way like I did it. And sooner or later, you will basically realize that that work you are basically doing for yourself, you becoming your person, you becoming that person that most probably you wanted and wish to have all of your life. And once you reach in that place, then it's really nice place to be. And I wish you from bottom of my heart that you reach to that place where you're doing this work for yourself, not for others. That's it for this Sunday. Until the next Sunday, until the next conversation, I wish you beautiful rest of the day. Bye.